Greetings. Part 3 of sourdough. Today we're scoring and baking. So you're gonna need a square of parchment paper. I like to do it with a cutting board. You should have a bread lump in your sourdough kit. Don't mind my dog squeaking, her toy, she's a crackhead. A little like razor thing, and then the lom is like that wood handle that you would attach this to. I don't like to use that, so, but if you did use it, you would just like kind of like put the little stick part like through here and then gap it and then through the back. So you can use the handle. If you're just gonna use the razor like me, be very careful because obviously it's a razor and it's sharp and I've sliced myself too many times. Okay, so razor, parchment, cutting board, and then you're gonna get your sourdough out of the fridge. Like so. Let me start this by saying that you need to preheat your oven to 500 degrees with your Dutch oven in the oven. So your Dutch oven should go into the cold oven, set it to 500 and let it preheat. And it should preheat for like another 30 minutes after. Your Dutch oven should be hot. Like it should be in there for a full hour of heat before anything even goes into it. So do that before you do anything else. My oven here only goes to 450, so the results here aren't gonna be as good as they should be, but in my old house, 500 is like the magic touch. We're gonna drop it down when we first put the bread in, but the whole way that you get your bread to spring is to shock it with heat. So that's why we have to do the Dutch oven with the lid on and everything, because it shocks it with heat. So that's why we go straight from cold from the fridge into the very, very, very hot Dutch oven. We'll drop the heat down, but start at 500 with the lid on. Okay, so unwrap your dough. Should look like this. I use semolina flour. It's kind of like cornmeal or like what you see on the bottom of English muffins. It just, I like it. It gives it like an artisan touch. Kind of helps it to not burn on the bottom. Obviously, if you don't have this, don't use it. You can always use a little bit of flour on the bottom. So I just like to, whoa, that was way too much. That's okay. All right. Then put your parchment paper on it and then put your cutting board on top of that. That way you have like a flat surface to flip it onto. Okay, take that off. You have a beautiful loaf. Then I normally use rice flour for this because it stays white, whereas regular flour will kind of get brown in the oven, but it all works the same. So if you want it to stick, get your hands wet and just kind of like flick your dough so that it kind of gets like a little bit wet all over the surface. You totally don't have to do this. I think that if you put flour all over the top, one, it makes it look more like artisan, and two, and when you score it and you do like the pretty little patterns, it comes out more, there's more contrast to it, and so it's more obvious. Okay, then sprinkle it with the flour. I'm doing all-purpose right now. I ran out of rice flour, so you are in the same boat as me. Okay. Now, I'm gonna hold the camera to show you the scoring part. The scoring is the hardest part, so don't get discouraged. It's hard. This is literally just a guess and check type of thing. You have to have it at the right angle. You have to go at the right depth. You have to do it fast. You can't rescore it. But the score is what allows it to expand. If you didn't score it or open it up at all, it would basically like blow out because when it gets into the heat and all the gases start going, it's literally just gonna like expand. And if you don't give it an outlet to expand through, it's just gonna like blow out and lose its shape. So we're gonna score it so that it does it nicely. And so you're gonna have to have an expansion score, which is like the deep functional score. And if you want, you can also, I have a crazy dog. Also, if you want, you can do like little decorative. I'll show you how to do like little wheat stalks. You can even get crazy with this and like paint your loaf or like do different colored flowers, all sorts of things. So you're gonna wanna score it at a 45-degree angle to the surface of the dough. So I don't know if you can see that. I'm not going straight up and down. I'm not going to the side. I'm going 45 degrees. And you basically wanna go like from the top end to the back end. And you're not gonna go like straight down the middle and you're not gonna go on the complete side. Again, like not even like 45 degrees with the blade, but 45 degrees on the dough. So I'm gonna bring it up here to show you. It's kind of hard without me holding the dough. Hopefully it doesn't move too much, but let me put on the light, hold on. Okay. So you kind of want to get in there, and you can kind of like shake it to make sure that you get in there, because you need it to be deep, like a 1/2 inch or more deep if you want it to really work. So I'm gonna dig in there and I kind of shimmy it. Oh my gosh, this is, okay. Shimmy it. And then you can kind of drag it back. Once you're in there, it's a lot easier. So I don't know if you can see, that's a pretty deep score. You can see all those layers in there. And that's what we want. That's how it's gonna pop up. And then I'm gonna do a cute little wheat stalk. So everything will expand, obviously. So we're just gonna do little slices, and you'll see how it expands in the oven. But we just do one, dun, 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 and then dun, 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 dun. And then I'll do one on each other side. That's just, you can do them all sorts of ways. And that's that. You could totally do one like on this side. You can do like them intertwining, you know, kind of like a little S. But anyway, let me set up the phone again. And you want to do this very quickly, like the colder the better. If you are having trouble scoring, pop this in the freezer for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes before you bake. It's a lot easier to score if it's frozen. All right, so preheated Dutch oven in the oven. I'm gonna pull it out. We're gonna plop the bread in there, and we're gonna set it for 20 minutes. Be careful, your lid is very hot. Don't grab it with your hands. All right, I'm gonna set you up over here somewhere. I don't know where. I'll try there. Hopefully that works. Stay. Okay. And then just grab your parchment. Be careful of the sides of the Dutch oven. It's very hot. Drop it in there. Oven mitts again. And then back into the oven. All right, set your timer for 20 minutes. Once 20 minutes is up, we're gonna take the lid off. So the first 20 minutes is to like keep all the steam and the moisture in there, and it just helps it rise a ton. That's where all of the expansion is gonna happen. And then once we take the lid off for the second 20 minutes, that's when it gets all the color, and it's really gonna get that nice like crunchy crust, if that makes sense. Yeah, okay. I have a crazy dog, sorry. So I'll see you guys in 20 minutes. Okay, also quick side note that I forgot to say in the first video. As soon as you put your bread in the oven, drop your temperature to 475 for 20 minutes. So the 500 is only for preheating. As soon as your bread's in the oven, drop it to 480 or 475 for 20 minutes. Okay, I'll see you soon. Y'all don't be pervs. I'm wearing pajama shorts. They just looked like underwear in the last video, but I promise they're not. Okay, 20 minutes is up. I'm gonna take it out, take the lid off, drop the oven down to 455. Drop it to 455. We're gonna take the lid off and we're gonna put it back in for like 20 to 22 minutes. Depends on how done you like yours. I don't like mine very done at all. I just like it cooked, but I like it to be super soft. But some people like it like super cooked and crispy. All right, let's do it. All right, let me show you a couple things first. So I just took the lid off and you can see how much it's risen. So that entire spot right there is just because of that score that I did. So that's why it's super important to make it deep. I could have even gone deeper because it would literally be like lifting up a ton. You can see how it's kind of like that little rip down there. I don't know if you can see that. That means I could have gone farther. But anyway, this top part that's gonna get super crispy is called the ear. And so that's kind of how you can tell like a good loaf is by like how distinct that ear is. And then you can kind of see that little, the little wheat stalks. They'll get more distinct after this next 20 minutes because it'll get darker on top. So this whole next 20 minutes is literally just for the top to get nice and crunchy, because right now when I push on it, it's super soft. So we're gonna get it back in the oven. Let's see. I'm gonna put you here. And again, I'm not changing the temperature of my oven because all it goes to is 450. So this should work better in your oven since you have a higher temp, but make sure that you drop it down to 455 right now and set your timer for another 20. If it doesn't look done enough for you, then do it to 22. If your ear is burning too much, put a little piece of tinfoil over it. If you are afraid that your bottom is gonna get too burnt, you can always slide like a baking sheet underneath on the rack below the rack that you're cooking on, so that kind of helps like disperse the heat. I don't have that problem, but I used to, but I use a pizza stone in my oven. So if this loaf ends up with the bottom pretty burnt, make sure that you do that next time. Just put like a baking sheet in there for the second half of the bake. Okay, we'll see you guys in 20 minutes for the final result. We're back. I had like 22 minutes in the oven. I took it out. I'll show you guys what mine looks like. Just be super careful. That Dutch oven is super hot. But that's my loaf. Little wheat stalks. This is called a spring. How much it rises is the spring. So good little crispy ear. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to. It's a really hot loaf. Oh, ouch. Okay, I don't know if you're gonna be able to like hear this crunch. That's awesome. That's so yummy. All right, Keela and I can't wait to try it. Okay, so if you're gonna want to slice this, a lot of people will just kind of like slice right into it like that. It's just really hard to handle. It'll kind of like tear because it's such like a tough bread. So the way I like to do it is cut it in half this way, and then put those two cut sides down. So you'll have this end facing up and this end facing up. And then from this top side, you'll slice like 1, 2, 3, 4, you know? So it's like boom, 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 boom. And this cut side is down, if that makes sense. So you'll have two halves facing down and then cut all like that. And you can put those little cut pieces in a bag in the freezer, just pop them right into the toaster, or my favorite is fry them in butter on the cast iron. All right, bye. Like and subscribe.